with a showroom clean car and an exceptional customer service experience. They have the basic car wash that starts. Check out the premium wash packages, low as $12 and go up to $20. They also have wash club for starting at $23.99, going up to $39.99. In other words, just double the regular premium package, drop a penny, and you can be one of the great members of Overflow Express Wash. My family and I keep our cars looking inside and out on Skyland Boulevard, online at overflowexpresswash.com. Look forward to making you a part of their team.
Are you looking for the perfect gift for that hard-to-buy person in your life? Well, go no further. Bama Bourbon and Beyond is coming February 29th at the Drish House. The first 150.
My son was playing in the finals, which I hated to miss, but I had a big deadline at work. Thanks to Total Wireless, it was awesome.
Except for
this with Total Wireless. Get
unlimited plan for $25 a month, no contract, with a gig of high-speed data than 2G on the nation's best 4G LTE network. Total Wireless, total confidence. Available at authorized dealers. See terms and conditions.
TotalWireless.com.
Everything rises and falls on. And said, it's what you learn after you think you know it all that makes the difference. What am I talking about? Leadership and personal development. Is your organization, your school, your church, your family, are they receiving the proper level of leadership development and personal development? If not, the Empowerment Center for Leadership and Mentoring can help you with that. We have our pep talks, which is a 1 to 1.5 hour lunch and learn, which we can customize to meet your needs, or we have some topics that we present that we know can help your organization. And if you're looking for one-on-one mentoring and coaching, we can also assist you with that. Visit peptalks35.com. That's peptalks35.com. Martin at martinhouston.org. That's the Empowerment Center for Leadership and Mentoring.
welcome back to the Martin Houston Show.
Welcome back in.
Let's lose of Northport. Let's lose Northport. Go out and see if you're out there, you're trying to get back on track, you're trying to lose weight, you're trying to get in shape. Let's Lose Northport is where you need to go. They can help you with some great supplements that will help with appetite suppressant as well as fat burning. You can get the shots that will help with fat burning as well. They will also help you with energy. And most of all, they'll help you lose the weight you're trying to lose. That's Let's Lose Advanced Weight Loss Clinic over in Northport, 80 McFarland Boulevard, suite number 10. Danielle and her team look forward to serving you. If you need to make a phone call to get that appointment set up or to stop by on Saturdays, give them a call at 205-632-3117, 205-632-3117, and they'll give you $50 off the start up if you tell them that Martin Houston with the Martin Houston Show told you to stop by. That's Let's Lose Northport. Let's get back into that conversation regarding recruiting. One of the things I like to do when you look at recruiting is try to find guys that these guys remind you of, either Alabama guys and or NFL guys. Bryce Young is, to me, watching him in high school, he reminds me a lot of Russell Wilson. I don't know if did you get to see him play much? You see much of his film?
Yeah, I got to see some of it.
It's impressive. As someone who is a big admirer of Russell,
Right. Yeah, and I know you're a big Russell Wilson guy, and to me, he plays a lot. I would not be surprised being from the West Coast and Seattle just being up the coast a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised if that's not who he kind of modeled himself after. When you look at the way he plays, even when he scrambles, how Russell holds the ball. He literally does a lot of that. And of course, if you miss the news on the other side of the break, at a recruiting meeting, reports that a lot of the players have put on weight, but the guy who we felt like needed to put on weight the most, Bryce Young, up 20 pounds of muscle mass. Great dual threat quarterback. But don't make no mistake about it. This guy is a quarterback passer who has legs, not legs who can throw the ball occasionally. To me, he is the best combination of the previous two guys we've had battle out here. Jalen Hurts threat with the legs and Tua Tagovailoa's threat with the arm. So I'm excited, and you seem to have pretty strong feelings about this kid's ability to get on the field early rather than later.
Yeah, we talked about it before the show. We talked about it a bunch of times since he committed, and even when it was
rumored that he was going to flip to Alabama. Just
how talented he is, and how much Saban is
willing to talk about it. And how much Saban
willing to just go out there and say
how much he loves the skill and the
demeanor of
Bryce Young. And that's something that you don't often get
from Nick Saban, that kind of candor about
out a specific player. And I think it shows you how talented he
is, and just how much of a gap there is, really.
between Bryce Young and the rest of the roster. And that's not to
Say anything bad about Mac Jones or Talia or even Paul Tyson. I think all three of those guys could also start in
if not SEC programs, still other Power 5 schools.
That's right.
It's a tough spot where you've got one of the most loaded quarterback rooms in the country with one guy. Although he has the least experience, he's probably clearly
The number one talent guy.
And it'll be interesting to see what Saban does with that talent, because we know he struggled with the management of Tua and Jalen, and it worked out for him. But I think he'll do things a little different this time. I will not be surprised that I will be shocked if Bryce Young is the starter coming out of spring, just based on the way Saban has done things in the past. And I would be slightly surprised if he started the USC game, but I would not be surprised if he becomes a starter as the season goes along. I think if what we saw with Jalen because Jalen had a proven track record, SEC Player of the Year, I think he had to lose the job. Okay, I think he had to do something to lose the job. With Mac Jones, I think Mac Jones has to fight to keep the job and win the job, not lose. He can lose it by the other guy. When I think Jalen had to lose the job, and of course that happened in the national championship game. And as they say, the rest is history. I don't think Mac Jones has that big of a leash.
Nick Saban's experience
With this situation is going to change how it plays out. And
I'll ask you here, what
impact does it have?
playing USC that first game?
Would Saban be more likely to name
Name him the starter before game one, whereas usually you would just start
the de facto guy and let the
guy prove on the field.
Wow.
But it's USC.
I hadn't even thought about the fact that it came down between Alabama and USC. He decommitted. He's from Cali, grew up, literally under the shadow of USC. It very well could play. And what's the irony of the fact that the last time we had this type of, we had Blake Barnett and Jalen battle, that what's his name had deer in the headlights look, and Jalen became the starter. I would not. I mean, that throws. We're gonna have to talk about that over the summer. Let's see what happens in the spring, and then we'll talk a little bit more about that. Just a couple quick things. We'll talk more about this because we got plenty of time. But a guy that I looked at and he kind of his running style, Jace McClellan. Have you got to see much film on him?
I haven't got to see a lot of it, but I'm excited to see.
Yeah, he's patient, and he kind of reminds me. You remember Le'Veon Bell, the way he ran the ball? It's like not like explosive. He's not like this guy that just boom, but he's patient, and when he finds his hole, he really takes good care of it. And a guy that sometimes the Alabama guys to me don't get as much hype as the national guys. And we'll come back and talk more about Jace because in a week or so I want to have a conversation about what's the best group unit on this team. Did wide receiver add enough that they're going to be right back as the best group? Is it the running back groups? Is it the linebackers will be right back in that conversation? But I want to hit this one note to leave you with before we get to three-point shot and full court press. A guy that I'm really excited about seeing is Wardell Williams. Wardell Williams is a local kid from Hueytown, and I'm already giving him a tag. Here's my player that Wardell Williams is going to remind the Alabama fans of. Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs. Remember how Josh would almost look like he would explode through a guy when he got ready to hit him? Like he'd be running, and it was almost like when he would make the contact, it looked like he got an extra burst. That's the way Wardell Williams plays, and he's not as big a guy, but man, he is powerful, he is explosive, and I believe he's one of those guys that's going to be a game changer for Alabama. So talk a little bit about the running back room so you can kind of see where I'm thinking may be the deepest unit with Trey Sanders, Keelan Robinson, Brian Robinson, and Najee Harris, adding two guys that could probably come in and play as freshmen and carry the load. Deep room, but is it the best? We'll talk about that in the upcoming weeks right here on the Martin Hughes Show. We're going to get the break here because we got a big basketball game, two big basketball games coming up, at least in the SEC. Get Fletcher's thoughts on that. As we come back from the break, we'll have three-point shot with a little full court press right here on the Martin Houston Show.
Thousands during barely light traffic, but Stillman Boulevard. Please drive carefully and don't tell the kids. I'm Captain.
Good morning, popular. Injured. Next Wednesday, Tuscaloosa Police Department Lieutenant Brent P. Blakely and retired Captain Randy a round of interviews. Job. Don Hartley, Town Square Media, Tuscaloosa.
Have you had to deal with the aftermath of a broken water or sewer main, a house fire, a water damage experts are here to help. They can restore your property to its original state or maybe even better. So whether you need help with residential or commercial restoration services, call Tuscaloosa Restoration 1 at 205-235. Restoration1 of Tuscaloosa.com.
It's time for some straight talk. It's
Tax refund time, and the big wireless companies play a game where they lure you in with a phone deal that locks you into a pricey contract. Don't play. With Straight Talk Wireless, get a Samsung Galaxy A10e for just $99. All on America's best networks for up to half the cost. No contract. Make that tax time money win all year long. Straight Talk Wireless only at Walmart. Savings with Mary. See StraightTalk.com.
give this special lady in your life what she
For Valentine's Day, a gift card from Spa Bella B. She can use it for any of her favorite spa services. That includes massages, facials, manicures, pedicures, Botox, laser hair removal, makeup, and all of her favorite beauty products. Valentine's Day is almost here. Make it easy on yourself. Give her a gift card from Spa Bella B. Locally owned by board-certified plastic surgeon Dr. Ross Munch. Located in the Falls of North River. Call 349-0046.
At Westin Hotels and Resorts, our entire reason for being is your well-being, which is why our wellness offerings are curated with one thing in mind: you.
An Eat Well menu crafted with fresh ingredients, an on-demand fitness gear lending program that allows
Top values to stay fit, and by having you back, it helps you conquer the day by giving you a restful night. All of it just for you, so you can rise.
explore at Westin.com.
A member of Marriott Encore.
Depression, tobacco, drugs, alcohol, and risky behaviors affect your health.
Talking about them is
The first step to knowing
whether you need to make a change. Brought to you by Vital. Improve
wellness in Alabama.
Refresh your oil and facial surgery 2-minute warning, 205-556-2323, 205-556-2323. Give them a call for that free consult. They're looking forward to the opportunity to assist you. You can also find them online at ufsdoc.com. It's now time for us to have a little 3-point shot and full court press. Let's start off with, first of all, let's look at a little bit of Alabama, and then we'll go from there and come back to the big SEC weekend. First of all, Fletch, when you look at Bama, this to me is a must-win game. The game of the year for Nate Oates and his Crimson Tide basketball team.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you're to
The part of the season, and you've put yourself in a position during the season where the most important game is the next game. You gotta win
all of them that you can.
from here on out.
Right.
You gotta go get these wins and pile them up, get your resume where it needs to be.
Georgia's a good start for that. They haven't had the season
They were supposed to, but they're a
team
team
that we know the committee's going to at least respect because they have Anthony Edwards on the roster. Even if they're not a tournament team that you're going to take down on the road, it is still a good Georgia team with a very good basketball player on it.
Yeah, and so when
You look at that, Herb Jones absentee, his absence has been magnified. I mean, it's amazing the impact he has. I've said on this show, to me, he's the equivalent of having a 20-point score because of what he adds to the offensive side as an option, especially he crashes the board, he finishes when one drives and they double team, you can kick to him. But I think what he does on the defensive side, from him directly as well as what he does to amp up the energy level of the other guys, how does Alabama replace that, and who do they replace it with?
I think it's got to be a combination, obviously. I think you get the energy a lot from Beetle Bolden. Thankfully, he's back now. He was not supposed to play as many minutes as he did in the last game, but when you have 5 players active, sometimes you got to keep them out there.
So,
That was not what the plan was for Beetle Bolden in that last game, but I do think that
he'll see some more minutes in this one. He's really the lifeblood of that team.
Herb's not on the floor, but in terms of the
Role that he plays, it's got to be John Petty and a little bit of
Jalen Ford, but you don't want to rely on a freshman too heavily in that role. So John Petty,
He struggled offensively, but defensively in the rebounding game, he's kind of picked it back up a little bit. Really getting to his spots. He's grabbing the rebound.
and that's what they need from him here is
To be that do-it-all guy
that Herb Jones has been.
for so long.
yeah, and that's it.
And Petty has to get it back going. The experiment of putting him on the bench, right now you have to say it has backfired because Petty has been in single digits 3 consecutive games, 4, I think 8, and I don't remember what he had the last game. But either way, I don't think he's hit his average if you add up all 3 games. And so what do they do? How do you get a guy like that going? What can they do in Georgia? You're the coach. What do you do early on? Not like in football. If you got a wide receiver that needs to get going, you run a few reverses, you run quick hitches, slants where the DBs can't stop the pass, and you just let that guy get going. What do you do in basketball with a guy like John Petty that if he plays the way he's played the last 3 games, I don't care what everybody else does. Alabama will not beat Georgia unless Petty steps up, in my opinion. And I could be wrong, but
Well, one of the taglines in basketball that you hear a lot is throw it down to the big man on the
First possession, and he'll treat you well for the rest of the game. I think that's what you got to do with John Petty. Get him the ball on the first
play of the game, on the
first couple possessions of the game. Run some plays for him. Have him come off
screens, get him open shots. Because once he starts
seeing the ball go in, then you know he's gonna keep shooting and he's gonna keep making shots.
Yeah. So
let's switch over. We're going to come back to what we think is going to happen in the game. A couple other things happening around the basketball world. So I talk to you for a little full court press, and then we'll come back and get our thoughts on what Alabama does, and we'll talk about the Auburn LSU game.
Yeah, the NBA trading deadline was yesterday.
Ended at 2:00 Central Time.
A lot
to the Cavaliers didn't make a lot of sense because the Cavaliers are not good. They also have a lot of big men who are on big contracts. So not sure what that deal was all about. It really seemed like a salary dump for the Detroit Pistons. But then you look across the league, you've got D'Angelo Russell, traded from the Warriors, who are at the bottom of the league, really looking to get a high draft pick here. That he was traded to the Timberwolves, who have wanted him, wanted a point guard in general for quite a while now, for Andrew Wiggins, who is a guy who has shown a lot of potential at times, but also disappointed.
Is this his third team?
This is only his second team that he's
played for. He got drafted but traded before. Yeah, that's right.
So he was with the Timberwolves for quite a while. Now it'll be interesting to see what the Warriors do with all these contracts they have. I mean, I think you add up their top 4 highest paid players, and they reach the luxury tax,
which means that they're having to pay, an exponential number of dollars extra for every dollar they spend now, and they don't even have a full starting lineup.
Right. Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how they build a team around that.
It's amazing how fast that dynasty, crumbled. And I mean, I don't know if it's through crumbling. You had a magic run, and not that they didn't maximize that magic run, but I think they got a little work to do moving forward. Any other closing thoughts on that before we flip back over to Alabama and LSU?
Yeah, a little more local. The Hawks acquired Clint Capella, a center who they think fits
With Trae Young really well, so you want to go see a guy who's electric at the point guard position, play with a guy who can get up and. He's really what the NBA has become. He sets a screen and he runs to the rim for a dunk.
Is Clint Capella a not steroid user, but a Dante Hall on steroids, what we used to see with Colin and Dante, where it was just finishing at the rim type of guy? Because Trae's going to pull the traffic, and if you don't cover him, he's going to finish. If you cover him, somehow, I don't know how he does it, but he can get the ball to the guy going to the rim.
Yeah, I think that's a good comparison. He's kind of a bulked up version.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Incredible skill. He might even another fallout from that the Andre Drummond trade. Dante Hall could see a call up soon. Could see some
NBA action.
Well, that'll be awesome, and if that happens, you make sure we report that, because Dante, he was one of my favorite players. Just seemed like he never had a care in the world. But when it was game time and opportunity the right way, he showed up a lot of times in a big way. And so let's flip back over. Alabama, Georgia. Tim Redding said we got to find somebody to replace Herb, and we still have to rebound. We have to stop turning the ball over. What does Alabama need to do, and does Alabama go in and get a road win at Georgia?
I think the big key here.
It's not going to be a popular opinion, but you got to have Anthony Edwards beat you on his own. Make him score all the points.
You're not going to shut him down. He's probably going to get
30 points, regardless of what you do in this game, because you just don't have Herb Jones out there to guard. And so I think you want to cut off everything else from that team. Make sure that Anthony Edwards has to make every big shot, every big play, and just see if your team can outperform their one player, because that's really been the formula to beat Georgia so far this season, and so far a lot of teams have been successful.
Let him get his, but just don't let the others get theirs. Yeah. All right. What you got for Auburn and LSU? Who's the king of the SEC heading into next week?
I think LSU is going to hit a bounce back here. I think they're going to come in with a new focus
After that Vanderbilt loss, kind of embarrassing. They all seem to have really not seen it coming, and so I think they'll rebound well and shock Auburn this week.
All right, tell us about your podcast real quick as we go off.
Yeah, Bama Baseline podcast we release on Mondays. We'll have one coming out for you guys. We'll recap Georgia. We'll get you ready for Auburn. So big week
for us this upcoming week, and of course
you can catch us
at Bama Baseline.
All right, at Bama Baseline on Twitter. That is Fletch. I'm Martin Houston. This is the Martin Houston Show. And remember, follow James Fletcher on Facebook, because he's going to be manning the controls all next week as I'm off cruising with the Tide Looking forward to a little time away, but James will do a great job. You all stay tuned for more. This is your home for Alabama sports. For the Martin Houston Show, I remind you, trust in the Lord always. Lean not in your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. Roll Tide.